Hollywood fame is more than bright lights, it's a bullseye. No secret rendezvous, no whispered call, no velvet rope party slips past the bureau's stare. But what happens when the red carpet leads straight into an FBI file? J. Edgar Hoover celebrity witch hunt. Back in the paranoid playground of McCarthy-era America, J. Edgar Hoover was not just running the FBI, he was casting his own noir drama. And every rebellious star in Hollywood was a potential villain. To him, celebrities were not just entertainers. They were ideological time bombs wrapped in sequins and swagger. Frank Sinatra, slapped with a 1,300-page file for his political pals and mob rumors apparently crooning too close to communism. Elvis? They tracked his hip thrusts like missile launches, labeling his pelvis-powered performances as public act of self-pleasure. And Eleanor Roosevelt, yes, the former First Lady, earned a domestic subversive tag just for promoting civil rights and calling out Hoover's nonsense. Hoover saw a threat in every spotlight. His obsession was not about justice, it was about control, image, and keeping the cultural script tightly edited. The bigger the star, the higher the surveillance. But the Bureau was not just watching, they were using, blackmailing, and destroying reputations. And no one felt that more than Marilyn Monroe. The blonde, the bombshell, the Bureau obsession. Marilyn Monroe was not just Hollywood's ultimate blonde bombshell. She was a walking red flag for the FBI. Her file kicked off in 1955, right around the release of The 7-Year Itch, and it did not close until after her mysterious death in 1962. Why the Bureau's obsession? Let's start with her so-called mutual infatuation with Frederick Vanderbilt Field, a Marxist millionaire exiled in Mexico, definitely not the kind of guy Hoover would have swiped right on. Then there was her marriage to playwright Arthur Miller, who had sparred with the House Un-American Activities Committee, plus Monroe's own outspoken support for civil rights and curiosity about China. Add in a reported application for a Russian visa in 1955, and you have got a Cold War-era cocktail of paranoia. By 2012, 85 heavily redacted pages came to light, no solid evidence of wrongdoing, just a whole lot of red ink and bureaucratic creepiness. To the FBI, Marilyn was not just a sex symbol, she was a potential subversive in a silk dress. Want to know how this obsession might have contributed to the tragedy of her death? That's coming next. Death, cover-ups, and conspiracy theories. Things get even darker when we look at someone whose targeting was not just passive surveillance, but part of a full-blown government smear campaign, complete with wiretaps, psychological warfare, and whispers of assassination. Marilyn Monroe was not just Hollywood's golden girl. She was entangled in a web of power, secrecy, and scandal that stretched from the bedroom to the White House. The FBI file on her reads more like a thriller script than a dossier packed with coded memos, celebrity gossip, and a trail of paranoia. Some claim her death was the cost of knowing too much about RFK, JFK, or something even bigger. Was it suicide, an accidental overdose, or a cover-up gone cold? The lines blur when institutions more interested in image than truth hold the pen. Even decades later, Monroe's fate remains a riddle wrapped in velvet and shadows. Her story is not just about tragedy, it's a cautionary tale of how fame, politics, and secrecy can collide. When the spotlight burns too bright, who controls the off switch? Smearing a Black Panther supporter. Next up, what happens when FBI interest isn't political, but creepy and modern? Picture this, not a Cold War or civil rights battleground, but the digital age, where a tweet can trigger a file and your inbox might as well be public property. The FBI curiosity shifts from subversive cells to influencers, hackers, and even bored teenagers who meme too hard. It's less about espionage and more about algorithmic paranoia, flag searches, data dragnets, and online footprints tracked in real time. You don't need to fund a revolution to get noticed anymore. Just trending for the wrong reason might do. Suddenly, surveillance becomes ambient, invisible, and invasive. Forget trench coats and wiretaps. Now it's metadata, predictive policing, and AI-assisted profiling. In this new world, Big Brother does not knock, he scrolls. The FBI on Michael Jackson and beyond. Fast forward a few decades, Hollywood wasn't spared from J. Edgar Hoover's lingering shadow. The FBI tracked Michael Jackson from 1993 to 2005, collecting files filled with death threats, child abuse allegations, even whispered rumors about adult tapes, yet nothing ever stuck under real scrutiny. Elvis Presley, the king himself, racked up nearly 700 pages in FBI files, not for crimes, but due to fan hysteria and shady extortion plots. Then there's John Lennon, whose anti-Vietnam War stance nearly got him deported, all meticulously documented over 300 pages. This isn't just tinfoil hat stuff. The FBI legitimately steps in when threats arise. But sometimes, their presence feels more like a shadow looming over fame than a shield guarding it. These cultural icons were not criminals, but their influence made them targets. So how do we balance national security with creative freedom? That brings us to MLK, whose legacy shows just how deeply surveillance can scar even our most revered public heroes. The spotlight may shine, but the eye in the sky never blinks. The FBI's most disgraceful surveillance operation. It was the ultimate betrayal. Martin Luther King Jr., the voice of justice and nonviolence, relentlessly surveilled by the FBI, an agency supposedly guarding American freedom. From 1963 to 1968, under Hoover's orders, agents wiretapped his phones, bugged hotel rooms, and stalked his private life not to catch a criminal, but to humiliate a prophet. They compiled tapes of alleged affairs, sent anonymous letters urging him to end his life, and waged psychological warfare against a man preaching love and equality. These chilling acts came to light in the 2020 documentary Martin Luther King FBI, revealing an obsession with destroying King's credibility, not curbing violence. Now, in 2025, a judge is poised to unseal the final files, some offering deeper context, others threatening to reignite old wounds. The King family and civil rights advocates plead for discretion, fearing that raw and unverifiable recordings might be twisted into scandalous headlines. Historians argue for transparency, but the debate cuts deep. Does truth serve justice or sensationalism? Even decades later, the system that once tried to break him still holds the power to reshape his story. And with that, you might ask, has anything really changed? Celebrity surveillance is not over. COINTELPRO may be a thing of the past, but the game has just gone digital. Today's surveillance swaps trench coats for hashtags and wiretaps for Wi-Fi. The FBI no longer needs to bug your phone when your every thought is posted, filtered, and time-stamped for them. Tech surveillance, social media scraping, and digital informants do the job just as well, if not better. Extremist influencers, celebrity death threats, online mob, yes, the Bureau still watches, especially when fame meets chaos. But now there's a twist. Public pushback is fierce. Freedom of Information Act requests, exposes, viral outrage, and lawsuits shine a spotlight back on the watchers. We have grown savvier, demanding accountability in real time, one tweet storm at a time. Still, the old lesson lingers like a ghost. Fame can make you powerful, but it also makes you a target, and if bureaucracy isn't checked, it can turn that spotlight into a weapon. Welcome to surveillance in the influencer age, same paranoia, just with better bandwidth. Conclusion. From Marilyn Monroe's haunted elegance to Jan Seberg's shattered psyche to MLK gut-wrenching blackmail tapes, one pattern runs through those FBI files like a dark thread. When you influence hearts and minds, you become a threat. The faces on movie posters and protest signs alike have drawn the gaze of a government more afraid of charisma than crime. Today, the surveillance has not stopped, it's just slicker, sneakier, digitized, but the public's sharper too. We challenge narratives, spot the overreach, and call out when the watchers go too far. So next time a scandal breaks about a celebrity, ask yourself, is this just PR drama, or the sound of something deeper humming behind the scenes? Because behind every redacted document and leaked tape, one truth that goes louder than any headline. In a world built on influence, power always fears competition, even if it wears a red carpet smile. If this peek behind the velvet curtain blew your mind, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss the next scandalous deep dive. Trust us, Hollywood's secrets are just getting started, and Big Brother, he's still scrolling. Stay curious, stay sharp, and stay tuned.